Hi, Dave Mad Max for Digital Muscle. This is Muscle Beach TV, and I'm here with two great friends of mine. Number one, Lionel L Train Brown. What's going on, man?
Going,
Well,
Dave? How you doing, man?
yeah, welcome to the show, man. Welcome to Muscle Beach TV. And E Merlin Broser, what's going on, buddy?
There's so much going on. You know most of it, but yeah,
I know.
it's too much to tell right here. And but this is about Lionel today, so we're going to talk about what's going on with him.
Very exciting time, Lionel. I'm really glad to have you on the show. I've actually meant to have you for a while now, but you were very, very intensely training for your prep and very, very much in the mode. In the prep mode, so I didn't want to disturb you. I want to do some footage and stuff, but I just figured, maybe it's just let him do his thing. I'll catch him later. So I'm glad to have you on the show. And then tell me a little bit what's been going on lately as of late.
Well, as of late, right now, I've been training and looking forward to the upcoming things that I got going on. I recently bumped into my man over here, Eric. I call him Big E, and we
No, I call him Biggie. Yeah.
and well, you had a lot to do with it, Dave, and Steve Murphy did. We thought it would be best if we let Big E come in and help me out with my prep because, as you guys know, I've been having some troubles here and there, really dialing this thing in, trying to fill out and whatnot, and then just haven't been going in my favor lately. So he looked at me and he thought that, hey man, you needed some help. That last week it just looked like you needed some help, and you would have done really well. Leading up to the show, I really thought I was going to do some serious damage, but unfortunately, didn't happen that way, and that's how it played out.
Well, let's talk about this because I remember when you passed pro at the USA. I was there. I was in the audience, and you looked phenomenal. And how many years ago was that? When was that you got your pro card at the USA?
Actually, I turned pro at the Nationals. Everybody thinks it's the USA, but it was
Really?
actually
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
Actually, I'm always wanted to win the overall at the USA, but unfortunately, I got second there in 2006. So then I went to the Nationals and I turned pro there.
Okay, but you did 1 year class at the USA.
No, I took
okay.
second.
Oh, okay.
Took second to Mike Ergus.
Oh,
I
that's
took
right.
second
That's
twice
right.
at that. Second in 2003 and second in 2006.
Oh, man. Too many close calls. That's why I thought you won. But you did look phenomenal. And how much did you weigh when you actually got your pro status?
I was actually 222.
222. And how much are you weighing today?
Right now, I'm currently 255.
Okay. So obviously, putting on muscle for you is not a hard thing to do. I mean, I see you train in the gym. I've seen you bench pressing 200-pound dumbbells in Long Beach. Remember that, the Metroflex Long Beach. So you're someone that's really strong, and you carry all the muscle mass that you need to do some damage in the pro rank. But what do you think it's been holding you back all these years? What is the problem in your head, in your mind?
It's the last 2 weeks. I mean, I think it's like when I'm going up into the show. Like if you look at me like 6 or 5 weeks out, like wow, I mean, if you see me before, it looks like he's going to take the show, and then all of a sudden, these last 2 weeks or a week out, it kills me, man. I'm like, what's going on here? And
Is it in your head, you think, or is it stress? Is it what do you think it is?
I think that I'm not with the right person that can really fill me up and really get the water off me.
It's a hard question to answer because when you do a show, and especially at your level in the pro ranks, it's very hard not to second guess yourself.
Yeah.
So you have to have someone obviously that you trust 100% and put your life, your career in their hand and say, you know what, no matter how crazy it sounds or no matter how wrong it sounds sometimes, I'm going to listen to what you got to say, and I'm just going to go with it. And then but sometimes it's hard to do that, right?
It is, and I'm not here to to name drop or put anybody under the bus because at the end of the day I'm a professional, and I should take some responsibility because I've been in this game long enough where I should look at things myself and make some judgments myself. But I don't. It's like I'm like getting ready for a show. Everybody wants to be the president. You just want to have a cabinet just sitting here taking care of things for you. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
But things happen, man, and I just I'm around some good people lately, and they, I believe in myself and they believe in me, and I just know that, I'm close.
Yeah, you are.
The last 3 years I put on this crazy amount of muscle, and they told me that, toward the later years in your bodybuilding, it's impossible to put on muscle, but I don't believe that anymore. You know what I'm saying? You can do it. So I feel good. I feel like I'm in good hands right now, and I'm ready to go, man.
All right, let's talk to her for a second. So E, you've seen Lionel is someone that he's a fixture at Goals. He trains with us alongside us all the time. He's been training here for years. We see him training with Dexter. We see him training with all the greatest champions, and obviously the guy's a monster in the gym. What do you feel is the problem? Why does he not get the placing that he deserves, and why are you involved?
Well, I mean, from what I see, and you and I have talked about Lionel before, being that we've trained, and he's somebody that I've actually said to you a number of occasions, like, love to work with Lionel, I said, because he just, he's got so much potential, and he's had so much potential, and it hasn't been realized since he's been in the pro ranks. And without even thinking it was going to happen or anything, I'm just saying he was somebody I'd like to work with. And I mentioned to you now again certain guys that I feel like could be doing better, that I'd love to help.
They're great athletes, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of there's a difference between somebody who just doesn't have what it takes. Yeah. They've reached their maximum potential, and they're not somebody who's going to necessarily be winning any IFBB shows. They look amazing. Listen, once you've reached that level, you're amongst the best in the world. Yeah. So even if you come in last place in an IFBB show, you're still amongst the best in the world. That's right. But then there are other people out there who we see on stage and just go, man, he's got everything, but he's just not dialed in properly, and he's losing. These guys are so close, and these guys are so good that if you're not spot on, you can drop from 5th place to 10th place, from 10th place to last place. So it's a fine line, and Lionel, I think, is one of those people running. He's on that fine line. I think he's got plenty of muscle. He's got great shape. He's got great proportions. His physique has a great look to it. He's got an X frame. He's got everything it takes. But once he's hitting the stage, something is missing. He seems to, what I see is that he's coming in a little bit with some water on him, and maybe a little too heavy. And that's something that I discussed with him. He's been hitting the stage in the 240s. I don't think it's necessary for him to be in the 240s. He's turned pro at 222. And some of the best athletes in the sport we know have looked the best at the lowest body weight. Flex Wheeler 216, Jay 250, Ronnie Coleman 250. Those have been like the body weights where most people say, oh my God, that's when they were the best. Yeah. So it's not about a number on the scale, it's about what you look like on stage. Mm-hmm. If you're 245 ripped to the bone and dry, you'll look 280 on stage. If you're 280 on stage and you're all watery, you look like you're off season. So. Yeah. What I want to do with Lionel, what my plan is to do with Lionel, is to bring him down a little bit lower than he's been in the past weight-wise, and to make sure that he talks about those final 2 weeks, make sure that 2 weeks out of the show, which we discuss all the time, he's already ready to step on stage.
He moves into your house.
He moves into my house 2 weeks out of the show, so I can keep a close eye on him. I'm going to get a bigger apartment. I'm going to need one. But yeah, so 2 weeks out, I want him to be ready. Basically ready to step on stage, and I don't want him to have to worry about doing anything. No stress. Nothing crazy the last 2 weeks. There's no need for crazy carb depletions and loads. No need to, sodium deplete and load. I want him to be ready so that all we're doing is fine-tuning an almost perfect body for the last 2 weeks. And that he's nothing, there's nothing stressing him out. He just sees himself every day looking better and better right to the day of the show. And I think that part of that is going to be bringing him a little bit lighter and not worrying that the scale says 235 rather than 245, because they're not going to weigh you on stage. They're going to look at you and say who looks the best. And we've seen some guys lately who, they're not the biggest guys in the world, and they're winning shows. And they're winning shows on condition, shape, and proportion. And Lionel's got, he's got all of that. Yeah. So that's what I see with him. And basically, how did it happen? It happened because you went to Lionel, and Lionel watches you, and he knows, he sees you in the gym. He sees how much you've improved over the last couple of years. And I think you just pretty much, between you and Steve Murphy, our good friend Steve Murphy out in Newport Beach from Perfect Fitness, who does tremendous work on so many guys to rehabilitate people and keep them pain-free and help with injuries. Steve knows Lionel well, and he also feels the same way, that he has got tremendous potential. And Steve knows what I've done with you, so you guys kind of said, hey, why don't you work with Eric and see what he can do with you? So I sat down with Lionel. We had a talk out here at Gold's for about a half an hour. And he said, yes, like, I think that because you believe in me, I want to work with you, and I've seen what you can do. And then slowly but surely, I went from just being Eric to being Big E. Now, when I became Big E,
That's a big step for Lionel.
yeah, when I became Big E, I knew I had his full trust and faith. And yeah, now I'm his boy. Now we're good. So he's fully trusting me. He's like, let's do this thing. And for the first time in a long time, I think that Lionel is actually feeling he's going in a show to win.
Well, let me get him on that. Okay. So how do you feel about everything that he's been saying right now? Because does he hit on some buttons over here? Do you think that? He's pretty much said it all. I mean, how do you feel about what you just said?
Yeah, well, to reiterate some of the things, yeah, he's right. Coming in at a lighter body weight because I turned pro. I was 222. And I look
tremendous.
Yeah, I look maybe like I was 240 or 250 on stage.
Right.
But yeah, he has a very valid point on that.
Is that gonna be a mind fuck for you to have to see your weight go down, or is it not gonna be so bad if you watch yourself in the mirror? You know what? I don't care. I'm 235, but Jesus.
No, because if I see things that's reminiscent of the night I turned pro, I'll be a very happy man. If I see them, when I look in the mirror and I see those striated glutes and those hamstrings corded up like guitar strings,
It's all about what you see.
Exactly, the full round muscle bellies and I'm full. I don't care how much I weigh.
I'm glad you say that. I'm glad you say that because it will give you confidence. It will give you peace of mind, and it will give you serenity leading up to the show. And that's important, not to stress.
Well, it's important in the sport, to have assertiveness in the sport. That's what gets you over him. But when you're on that other side and you haven't been doing well, man, it's like, okay, well, what's going on here? But like I said, I'm a cat. I have heart. I have courage, man. So I'm not, any guy that backs down. If I didn't believe in myself, I wouldn't be coming through these doors anymore. I'm just like, you know what? I feel like I'm close. And yeah, it's heartache when you don't get what you want.
Yeah.
And you go through a little something for like the 2 weeks, after that show, and you're like, okay, it's time to pick myself back up and, let's do this because I knowing who I am, I'm going to hit it. And I'm going to hit it. And when I hit it, everybody's going to feel it.
I'm glad you say that because it seems to me like the past few years, and I've known you for years, dude, and you know how much I care and I like you. And I really want you to do well. And this is one reason why we do this interview, you guys. I really want Lionel to get his shot, to get what he's deserving of. And right now, I feel like the past few years, you've been coming in here every day and doing the drive from Temecula on a weekly basis on pure drive, I'm not gonna quit. I don't care what the placing says. I don't care what the judges say. I'm gonna do what it takes for me to get to the top, and that's remarkable. So I want you to win. I want you to get what you deserve. I want you to show up at your best, and people will say, "Whoa, what happened with Lionel?" Because nothing will make me more happy than that.
And you guys, Dave is not exaggerating. Every show that I've done, he has texted me before the show and sent a very sincere text message and giving me well wishes and very encouraging words. So I appreciate that, Dave, and you always been there for me. You always believe in me, man, and I know you waiting just like me for me to hit this thing big, and we'll have something to talk about, and we won't forget it, man.
Hopefully an Olympic qualification now. So let me ask you, let's lead into that. What is it that you want before you decide to call it quit with the sport? What is your goal? What is your goal as of today? What is it that you want to accomplish before you say I'm done with this?
The circle of completion, man, is I want to be on that Olympia stage. I want to be in that press conference with that suit on, that track suit on, answering questions, and just holding babies and kissing them again, man, like I used to, man. And another front cover.
Yeah, man.
Another front cover, man. I have 3, one more, and that's what I want, man, right there.
How much longer do you want to do this, you think? Until you're good enough. Until you're good enough to win, like Dexter, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Or do you have a plan? And do you say, okay, 3 more, 5 more years?
No.
Okay.
My son, man, who means the world to me, man.
Zoe
boy. I talk to him and I tell him that, I want to go out there and I want to work and I want to coach him. I want to be by his side because, he's my everything, man. So he understands the goal that I have. And, once we get there, man, then we'll sit down at the round table. Then we'll make a decision where we're going to go next. But we'll talk about that after I take care of this
What
business.
if you start winning and keep winning?
Man, Big E.
You never know, man. I'm telling you, man. Life is going to be a whole lot different in a few months than it is now. So, E, have you guys chose? I know he was supposed to do Vancouver,
Tampa.
Tampa, which is going to be just in a few weeks, a couple of weeks. But I think smartly, and it was a good decision. You guys just had started working together, so you said, you know what? Things are going well. Let's just wait a little longer. What have you guys decided to do next?
So we're going to go to the Ferrigno. We're going to go to the Ferrigno, which is obviously a tremendous show.
Yeah.
One of the biggest shows of the year now. And that's where we're going to go. We're about 17 weeks out or something like that.
That's great.
Yeah, 17 weeks out.
Oh, he's going to look great.
And, it's such a huge show here in California. And, it's been growing every single year. So I think it's a great platform for him. And so
it's home. It's close to home. It's not going to be too many expenses.
Yeah, I mean, that always makes things easier.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just a great place for him to go be on his home turf in Southern California to display the new Lionel. We're going to call it Lionel V3. This is going to be version 3.
Yeah.
So he did, V1 turned him pro. V2 is where he didn't place any higher than 698 pro show. So V3 is going to be the one. So yeah, we're going to go to the Ferrigno, and then, after we kick ass at the Ferrigno, which is what we plan to do, we're hoping to qualify for the Olympia right there. I mean, that's what we would love to do, because his dream to be on the Olympia stage has now become my dream. I want to see him. My dream is now that I'm sitting in the audience, first few rows, and I'm seeing Lionel, come out on stage, at the Olympia stage. So that's my dream too. But, we're also willing to work. Let's just say Lionel places, he places top 5. He doesn't get in that show. We're going to go to the next show. We're going to go to the next show. And we're going to earn points, or we're going to win a show. We're going to get there one way or another. But all we know is just going to keep bringing a better version of him every single show, because the longer I work with him, the more I'm going to learn his body, the better I'm going to be able to peak him. So that process, how it goes. Yeah. But like you said, we decided to make this move because we feel that this will give me a chance to work with him for a longer period of time, learn his metabolism, learn how his body reacts. And his body's already reacting really well to the diet that I've given him. He seems to be getting bigger all the time without his body weight going higher, and he's getting leaner at the same time, which is what we want. And so now we could just slowly but surely bring him into the show in the best shape ever. So the plan is to go there and kick some butt. I mean, that's the plan.
Okay. I want to talk to you about that real quick, so remind me of that. But I want to say that I'm so first of all, I'm so happy you're working with him, because you're both great friends of mine, and this is someone that could potentially, you're right, take you all the way up to the Olympia. That being said, it's great to work with a pro like Lionel, but it's also a lot of pressure for you. Now all eyes are going to be on you. You know that, which means that you have to perform. It's not Dave Borlée anymore, who is a nobody. This is somebody who's actually a pro. So it's a lot of pressure on you, and I'm sure the rest of the entire IFBB will be looking at you. Are you ready for that pressure?
I'm ready for the pressure. It doesn't bother me one bit. My nickname was given to me by you, which is Merlin, so I consider myself.
Oh, I believe.
Yeah. So, listen, it's in a way, there's pressure. There's pressure on me. There's pressure on Lionel. There's pressure on both of us. I feel confident in what I do. Yeah. And I feel confident that I know that I could take people who don't have the greatest genetics in the world,
like me,
like you, and completely change the body. So when I have somebody like Lionel, of course,
who's genetically gifted,
very genetically gifted, I feel even more confident. And the thing that, with Lionel is that he basically, I said, are you gonna give me 100%? I have worked with pros before who have not given me 100%, and I asked him, is he gonna give me 100%? He says, I am gonna give you every day. I'm gonna give you 100%. I'm gonna do everything you say. I'm gonna kick ass in the gym. I'm gonna, be at the tail. I'm not gonna do my cheats and all that stuff. He's just gonna go out 100%. And I know that if we combine what I do with him giving it all his passion and his drive, I know that we're going to do. I am confident in this. I'm going to bring the best Lionel that ever was to the stage. That's how I feel. What the judges do with him after that, I have no control. Yeah. But I'm going to bring the best version of him, and that's all that I can possibly do. So yeah, I'm ready. Bring it on, and awesome. Let's do it.
Lionel, I want to talk about how long have you been on the program so far?
I've been on the program for about 5 weeks so far, okay. I believe.
And how do you feel, and how is that different than what you've done before? How do you feel so far? How do you see your body changing, and are you pleased with it?
I'm very pleased with it. What I've noticed is there's not everything is a balance. I like the balance of it. There's no decrease in carbs. There's not a big increase. It's just a balance with the fats, the protein, and the carbs. I feel good. I've seen my body just changing. Like the first 2 weeks, I'm like, wow. I walk through the doors and people know, hey man, you look rounder, man. But,
I love that. That's fucking awesome.
I was in there doing arms curling, and my boy Ahmad, Charles's trainer, said, dude, look at his waist. And, you know, when he said that, I'm like, yeah.
How great is that?
And I became Big E all of a sudden. I went from Eric to Big E.
I love when people from the gym will actually tell you before you notice yourself.
Yeah,
That's
so I'm
awesome.
like, yeah, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, because the thing why I'm doing what I'm supposed to is because I want to win.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing what I want to do. I want to win. I want to get to the top. I want to accomplish my goals.
Yeah. I'm really glad you guys picked the Ferrigno, because I think in 17 weeks, as fast as you're going to change and as much progress you're going to make, by the time the Ferrigno hits, you're going to be so confident and you're going to be so ready and you're going to be so full of, I don't know, man, ready to win energy that it's going to be great, man. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, I'm putting it all on the line, man.
All right, guys. Well, this is Dave Boulay, Mad Max 6 with Merlin and L Train, and this was Muscle Beach TV, you guys. And we're gonna shoot some more with these guys. You know, I'm hoping that leading up to the Ferrigno, we get some training footage, we get some updates with you to see how you're doing. Maybe some posing, that would be awesome. And then that's it, you guys. Anything else to say? You want to say any thank you or?
I just want to say thank you to my trainer, Charles Glass, who always believing in me and standing by me, man. All the people who encouraged me, and the people on the social media, you guys have sent me some really encouraging messages, man. And you guys told me, a couple of you guys have told me that I make you guys feel a part of the journey that I'm on. And you know, when you're on the losing side, man, you don't think that you know these people following you anymore. But you know, man, they made a believer out of me, man. These people are still around with L Training. I appreciate you guys, man. I really do. And I want to thank Big E for believing in me, and Big Dave and Steve Murphy.
Yeah, Steve.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys, man.
All right, any last word, E?
I just want to say I'm privileged. I feel honored to be, you know, working with Lionel. I'm really happy to work with Lionel. He's a great guy. I love working with people who have, you know, tremendous drive and passion and love for the sport. Yeah. And he still has all that. And, you know, really it makes me feel good to get behind him. I want to thank you for helping me to, you know, facilitate this. And thank you for also, you know, Lionel now is my brother. And now he's another close friend here at Gold's. And that's always an invaluable thing. So, but I am, like I'm ready to go, and I want to bring Lionel in his best shape ever, and I want to help him. More than anything, I want to see his dreams come true before he decides to call it a day. But it's going to be a while, because now that we're working together, I have a feeling it's going to be.
Once you start winning, you don't want to stop.
It's gonna be like when Dexter was like, you know, he was like kind of like sort of thinking he's gonna retire, and now all of a sudden there's no end in sight. We're gonna try to do the same thing with Lionel.
This is really exciting, you guys. So keep following on digital muscle, you guys, all the way to the Ferrigno and with these guys. And then it's Dave Borlay, Mad Max, and we're out.